watching could tell that I won. Everyone knows that Oleksandr is an inferior fighter, and everyone sure as fuck knows I beat his ass fair and square tonight. So the judges saying I only won 4 rounds is a goddamn disgrace. Jesus Christ, there hasn't been a bigger robbery.
Tyson Fury has stirred up major controversy ahead of his fight with Oleksandr Usyk, claiming the match might not be entirely fair. Fury even shared audio recordings he says were leaked conversations between Usyk's team and the judges. According to him, these tapes hint at behind-the-scenes efforts to influence the fight. However, it seems the discussions weren't about the fight's result, but more about following certain rules. This drama has sparked a buzz of conspiracy theories, with some people suggesting the audio might have been altered using advanced technology. While that hasn't been proven, reliable reports reveal that Usyk's team did talk to the judges. Apparently, they felt some rules weren't fair, like Fury being allowed to keep his beard or Usyk not being allowed to have a crucifix in his corner. These issues have added more tension to an already highly anticipated match. There's been a lot of buzz around Tyson Fury's beard ahead of his fight with Oleksandr Usyk. According to the rules, fighters are supposed to shave or at least trim their beard so they don't give any kind of advantage. But Fury's beard seems to have slipped through, raising eyebrows in Usyk's camp. Usyk's manager, Alex Krassyuk, admitted they spoke with the WBC and the judges about this and other concerns. He described it as a simple chat to clear up any confusion. But here's the twist: the leaked audio suggests it wasn't so straightforward. Since Fury went public with his claims, boxing experts have jumped into the conversation, sharing their thoughts on the whole drama. Some are questioning the fairness of the situation, while others are left wondering if all of this might overshadow the fight itself. The fight stirred up plenty of drama, with accusations of a robbery being thrown around. Some even joked that Zelensky himself might as well have been judging the bout. If it weren't for the fight being in Saudi Arabia, people might have assumed the judges weren't fully focused. While the first 6 rounds were tight and hard to score, the unified champion from Ukraine, Oleksandr Usyk, turned up the heat in the second half. He landed the more impactful punches and kept Fury under relentless pressure. This victory not only marks back-to-back wins for Usyk in their rivalry, but also strengthens his claim as one of the greatest heavyweights of his generation. Still, the win didn't come without controversy. Tyson Fury and his camp have raised questions about the judging, adding a layer of tension to an already intense showdown. The fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk wasn't without its fair share of drama. Some called it a robbery, with jokes flying around that Zelensky himself might as well have been judging the bout. If it weren't held in Saudi Arabia, people might have even accused the judges of being out of it. The first 6 rounds were incredibly close and tough to call, but things changed in the second half. Usyk, the unified champion from Ukraine, took control. He started landing bigger, cleaner shots and kept up constant pressure on Fury. His performance sealed back-to-back wins in their rivalry and solidified his place as one of the greatest heavyweights of his era. But the victory didn't come without controversy.
That affects the result of the fight. It's just a formal thing if we comply with the rules or not.
Things started to shift around the 6th or 7th round. Usyk seemed to find his rhythm and got closer, while Tyson began to show signs of tiring, just as many predicted. While the fight stayed competitive, Usyk's punches were sharper and caught the eye more as the rounds went on. At ringside, Tyson's promoter, Frank Warren, was furious, calling it a robbery. But watching the fight, it's clear Usyk stepped up when it mattered most, landing the shots that likely made all the difference. It's a fight fans won't stop talking about anytime soon. The fight between Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk was as close as it gets, especially in the first half. From round 1 to about round 6 or 7, it felt like a tug of war. One round seemed to go to Tyson, the next to Usyk. Honestly, there were 3 or 4 rounds where it was nearly impossible to pick a clear winner. It was that tight. Tyson Fury's promoter, Frank Warren, might have been looking at the fight through emotional eyes, convinced Fury had done enough to win and dreaming of a trilogy. But let's face it, Oleksandr Usyk was the better man in the ring. On my scorecard, just like the judges, Usyk won by 4 or 5 rounds. He came prepared, got the job done, and kept his titles. The fight was interesting from start to finish. It wasn't the kind of clash that left you completely in awe, but it had you hooked every second, wondering what would happen next. Usyk's sharp punches and calm demeanor gave him the edge, proving he was the stronger fighter on the night. Even Lennox Lewis, sitting right in the front row, witnessed Fury come up short against a fighter who was simply too good this time. Lennox Lewis gave his take on the fight, saying that Oleksandr Usyk deserved to win, but he also gets why Tyson Fury might feel hard done by the judges. Talking to TNT Sports, the former undisputed heavyweight champion said it was a solid fight. He mentioned that he would have liked to see Tyson be more aggressive and really take the fight to Usyk, especially since Fury had won their first encounter. Lewis believes that if Fury wanted to win the rematch, it was up to him to take charge and make it happen. Although he didn't get into the specifics of the scoring, Lewis agreed with the judges' decision and felt Usyk rightly came out on top. It was a great fight, but Usyk proved to be the better man on the night. Lennox Lewis shared his thoughts on the fight, calling it a solid, close match. He pointed out that in heavyweight boxing, when you lose, you often feel like you could have done more to win. Lewis felt Tyson Fury could have stepped up his game, especially since Usyk was landing some solid body shots and getting clean punches in those things count, and likely made an impact on the judges. As the interview came to a close, the host asked what's next for Fury. Lewis encouraged him to keep pushing and looking for ways to improve, suggesting that there's still plenty of opportunity for Fury to stay competitive in the heavyweight division. The journey doesn't stop here. Lennox Lewis shared his thoughts on the fight, calling it a solid, close match. He pointed out that in heavyweight boxing, when you lose, you often feel like you could have done more to win. Lewis felt Tyson Fury could have stepped up his game, especially Usyk was landing some solid body shots and getting clean punches in those things count, and likely made an impact on the judges. As the interview came to a close, the host asked what's next for Fury. Lewis encouraged him to keep pushing and looking for ways to improve, suggesting that there's still plenty of opportunity for Fury to stay competitive in the heavyweight division. The journey doesn't stop here. He was holding and mugging him, getting good work inside. I thought that's what the whole fight would look like. Are you Fury and his team contested the three ringside judges, unanimously scoring the fight 116-112 to his opponent, as they thought it was much closer than that. Boxing has a big judging problem, and Saudi boxing chief Turki Alik has tried to combat it by creating an AI judge, which made its debut during Usyk vs Fury 2 had at 18. Get rid of the AI judge. The AI judge don't work, but the only thing I will say is promoter Eddie Hearn disagrees with the result of Oleksandr Usyk and Tyson Fury's second fight, insisting that Saturday's bout should have been a draw. Ukrainian fighter Usyk, 37, was controversially awarded the win on points, the same as in Saudi Arabia back in February, with all three judges scoring the clash 116-112 to the reigning heavyweight champion. The decision sparked fierce debate in the boxing world as Fury claimed that his opponent was given a Christmas gift. I thought it was very difficult too. Split them up, just got punched in the stomach by an NZ. Luckily I got a transmitter in there, otherwise I would have been down. I thought I won that fight, the Brit argued. I thought I won both fights, but I'm going home with 2 losses on my record. There's not much I can do about it. I can just fight my heart out. I will believe till the day I die that I won that fight. I felt a little Christmas spirit in there, and I think he got a little Christmas gift from the judges, an early Christmas gift, said Fury, who lost the first fight in May by split decision, since the British Museum stole other countries for centuries. Whatever, maybe these camel jockeys were giving me a small bit of revenge. Anyways, I'll see you guys. Hearn, who's the chairman of Matchroom Sports, says that a draw would have been a fair result, having scored at 65 to Fury going into the final round. I thought it was a very close fight. He told IFL TV, I thought Usyk nicked the last round. I had it as a draw, but you know, there seems to be a lot of people that had Usyk the winner. Looking back at the fight, it was clear there were a lot of close rounds, and one AI judge, who wasn't part of the official scoring, even had Usyk winning by a wider margin, 118-1-2. Eddie Hearn agreed with Frank Warren, saying that Fury should have gotten more rounds, but in the end, he was okay with how the decision was made. Hearn also shared his thoughts on Twitter, calling it a very close fight. He felt Usyk might have won the final round and even considered a draw, but he noticed that many fans and experts believed Usyk was the real winner. It's safe to say there's still plenty of debate about who truly deserved the victory. Overall, I just didn't feel it was an 8-4 fight. That's the thing Hearn said, but one thing I will say that was pleasing, all three judges had it the same way, and all three judges are high-quality judges, Steve Weisfeld and the like as well. I believe the AI judge had it 118-112 for Usyk. Again, I had it a draw, 1 round either way. I thought it was very, very close, but consistency from the judges, which is good to see. I guess we'll watch it back, but I found it difficult to pick a winner. I thought it was very close. Speaking on the futures of both fighters, Hearn agreed that a rematch between Usyk and Daniel Dubois, promoted to undisputed IBF heavyweight champion when Usyk vacated that title to book a second fight with Fury rather than face mandatory IBF challenger Joseph Parker, makes sense, though he cautioned Duo about looking past Parker with Fury unable to avenge his first ever defeat in the first fight. Questions are being asked of where the Gypsy King goes next. Hearn reckons that it's time for the long-awaited Battle of Britain with his fighter Anthony Joshua, who's looking ahead to 2025. The question on everyone's mind is what's next for Tyson Fury. While there's only one clear fight on the horizon, it's still too early to start calling for it. No one knows what Fury's plans are. He might decide he doesn't want to fight again. That said, Eddie Hearn, Anthony Joshua's promoter, believes a showdown at Wembley next year between Fury and Joshua would be a massive event. Even though both fighters are coming off losses, Joshua was knocked out by IBF champion Daniel Dubois in October. Hearn insists it would still be a box office hit. In the end, it looks like there's only one fight that fans are waiting for. Eddie Hearn has made it clear Tyson Fury vs. Anthony Joshua is the biggest fight in British boxing history, and it's a showdown that everyone will want to see. Speaking to DAZN, Hearn emphasized that Fury didn't look finished in his last performance. He didn't seem flat, he wasn't hesitant, and there was no sign that his punch resistance was in question. Fury, in Hearn's eyes, is still at the peak of his abilities. He just wasn't good enough to beat Oleksandr Usyk. For Hearn, the only fight that makes sense now is Fury vs. Joshua. But he also pointed out that a lot of people are questioning if this is the right time for AJ to step up to that challenge. The excitement around a potential fight between the two is undeniable, but the future of that match is still uncertain. The buzz around Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua continues to grow. Eddie Hearn recently mentioned in an interview that he knows Fury isn't eager to fight Joshua right now, but for him, the dream matchup is still AJ vs. Fury at Wembley. Hearn is determined to make it happen and will push hard to get it on the calendar soon. Meanwhile, Fury was convinced he had won his recent fight with Oleksandr Usyk and was upset by the decision. His promoter, Frank Warren, couldn't believe the way the fight was scored at Kingdom Arena. Despite being smaller and at a disadvantage in weight and height, Usyk took control of most of the fight, showing why he's one of the best in the business. Fans are eagerly waiting to see what happens next. Will Fury and Joshua finally face off? Looking ahead, Eddie Hearn emphasized what fans really want: a showdown between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. That's the fight everyone's been waiting for, and it's time to make it happen. But as always, the big question is, will they finally make it official? The boxing world is on edge, hoping this dream fight comes to life. In their latest fight, both Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk showed incredible skill, but Usyk stood out by landing more powerful and accurate shots. Fury did well, but this time the fight was more like a chess match than the thrilling clash they had back in May. The rounds were incredibly close, but as the fight went on, Fury's energy seemed to drop, while Usyk's left hand became his most effective weapon. Tyson Fury showed respect after the fight, thanking everyone who supported him. "We move on, we go into the new year, and whatever that brings, we'll see," he said. Fury, who had toned down his usual showboating for this fight, added, "The fight's done, it's in the past, I didn't get the decision, it is what it is, and we move on. I'm going home to my family, I haven't seen my kids in 12 weeks." Meanwhile, Lennox Lewis unexpectedly joined a Frank Warren interview as Fury's promoter vented about his fighter's loss to Oleksandr Usyk. Warren was clearly frustrated and didn't hold back, ranting about the decision and expressing his disbelief over the outcome. It was a tense moment, showing just how much emotion the defeat stirred up. After the fight, Tyson Fury showed a lot of respect, thanking everyone who supported him. He said, "We move on, we go into the new year, and whatever comes next, we'll see." Fury, who usually enjoys a bit of showboating, kept it low-key this time. "The fight's done, it's in the past, I didn't get the decision, it is what it is, and we move on. Now, I'm going home to my family, I haven't seen my kids in 12 weeks." At the same time, things got heated behind the scenes. Lennox Lewis jumped into a Frank Warren interview as the promoter was fuming about Fury's loss to Usyk. Warren was clearly upset and couldn't hide his frustration with how the fight went. It was a tense moment, showing just how passionate everyone involved is about getting the outcome they wanted. "Was a split decision in this. I'm very disappointed. I know people will say I'm biased, and I probably am biased, but I temper by biasness." Lewis then abruptly joined the conversation with Warren, asking the former undisputed heavyweight champion for his verdict. He replied, "I didn't score it, but it was close, definitely close." Warren then pointed out that one judge didn't give Fury a single round in the second half of the fight, raging, "What fight are they watching? We're all a great fight, where do you?" Looking ahead, there are still plenty of big fights out there for Tyson Fury. It really depends on how he sees the result, whether he views it as a fair loss or something he feels was unjust. Lennox Lewis agreed, saying Fury should have definitely been given a couple more rounds in the second half of the fight. Lewis also shared his thoughts on Usyk's future. There's the potential for him to reunite all 4 heavyweight belts, which has fans buzzing. A rematch with Daniel Dubois, who holds one of the other belts, has already been suggested. It seems like Usyk's journey is far from over, and the heavyweight division could get even more exciting in the near future. British fighter must beat Joseph Parker in February 1st. Lewis suspects the Ukrainian hero 37, who has nothing left to prove, could hang up his gloves. He said he can do what he wants to do. He could retire if he wants to. He could have a rematch. He could have a rematch. He could have another fight, whether he wants to continue or he wants to fight on. We know that Joshua waits in the wings. That's still a massive fight in England. After what you saw tonight, who do you think wins that fight? I don't know. Styles make fights, that's for sure. Definitely former. Tony Bellew, the cruiserweight world champion, was keeping a close eye on the fight. As they headed into the final round, he shared his thoughts on how the fight was going. "I've got Usyk ahead, 6-5 after 11 rounds, he said. "There have been some really close rounds, but I just don't see how anyone could say Usyk's losing. He's controlling the fight and landing more punches than Tyson Fury." Bellew pointed out that the last round was still up for grabs, with a knockdown potentially swinging the fight in Fury's favor. In the end, Bellew scored the final round a 101-0-1-0, which gave Usyk a 115-114 win on his card. "It was a great last round," he said. "I couldn't separate them. But it was brilliant to watch. The fight was close and intense, leaving fans on the edge of their seats until the very end." Chess match, I've got Usyk, but no one can complain either way. TBH, this isn't a robbery either way. Both fought their hearts out here. I just feel Usyk has done enough and outland and impressed the fight. While he agreed with the outcome, Bellew felt all three judges scoring at 6-112 was too wide. Quite confident, I thought I won that fight again. I think I've got Larry Hesdy. I thought I won the both fights, but then again, I've gone home with 2 losses on my record now, so there's not much I can do about. I can fight with everything I've got and give it my all, but deep down, I always felt it was a bit too wide, said the fighter. That being said, I do understand why Usyk won. It was his constant pressure and the consistency of his work rate that won him the rounds. Tyson Fury, known as a true warrior, earned a lot of respect for stepping back into the ring with Usyk after weeks of intense build-up. After a tough battle, Usyk defeated Fury by unanimous decision, with all 3 judges scoring the fight 1-1, 6-1, 1-2 in his favor. With the victory, Usyk retained his WBC, WBO, and WBA heavyweight titles. Were tough to score, he had it 1-1, 5-1, 1-4 in favor of Usyk, which was much closer than the judges' final scores. After the fight, Joshua took to social media to share his thoughts. On his Instagram story, he simply wrote one word: respect, showing his admiration for Usyk's victory. Eddie Hearn, who has been calling for a Tyson Fury vs. Anthony Joshua fight at Wembley, shared his take on the bout, saying he felt it was a draw. I couldn't split them, he admitted. There were so many close rounds and it was tough to call. It felt more like a chess match than a full-on slugfest. I had it really close and I just didn't see it as an 8-4 kind of fight. On the flip side, Tyson Fury's promoter Frank Warren was shocked by the final decision. He honestly thought Fury had won the fight and couldn't understand how the judges saw it differently. His reaction showed just how surprised and frustrated he was by the outcome. It was a tense moment, and it's clear that this fight has left many still debating who truly deserved the win. Like I did, and I think most of the people sting he was at. What do you think the scorecard should have been in your opinion? I thought Ton won by what the same score reversed couple rounds, at least armed with what appeared to be a paper copy of all 3 scorecards from the event. Warren gave a quite remarkable in-ring interview with Adel Adipo. It's nuts, he said. Did you have him as only winning 4 rounds out of 8? Very harsh. It's nuts. I don't get it, but it is what it is, and we'll see what happens in the future with. After the fight, TNT Sports reporter J.D. Dyer spoke with Frank Warren outside the ring, and the frustration was clear in his voice. He was going over each of the scorecards he had been given and couldn't believe what he saw. Tyson was dumbfounded, Warren said. They gave him only 4 rounds out of 12, which is just impossible. I've been around the sport a long time, and I know I'm biased. But one judge didn't give him any rounds after round 6. Not a single round. How can that be? It doesn't make sense. Warren was also asked about the differences between this fight and the first one. His response showed just how confused and disappointed he was with the scoring. The results left him questioning how such a decision could be made, especially after seeing how close the fight had been. Oscar de la Hoya, who is neutral, had Fury winning by 3 or 4 rounds, which made his perspective stand out. On the other hand, Usyk, who successfully defended his WBA, WBO, and WBC heavyweight titles and extended his undefeated record to 2-3-0, had a different take on the outcome. His promoter, Uncle Frank, seemed to imply that the judges might have missed something in their scoring. Usyk's viewpoint was clearly different, adding another layer to the controversy surrounding the fight. In his post-fight press conference, Usyk responded to Tyson Fury's comments about the fight. He said, "If Tyson calls it a Christmas gift, okay, thank you, God. Not Tyson, thank you, God." Usyk made it clear that he felt he deserved the win and wasn't too concerned about what Fury said. After beating Fury for the second time, Usyk had nothing but respect for his opponent. He acknowledged how strong and skilled Tyson Fury is, saying, "Tyson makes me stronger. He's a great opponent, a big man, and a tough boxer. He's a good man with a lot of talent." But after 24 rounds, it's just a show. Usyk's words showed his deep respect for Fury, despite the controversy surrounding the fight. After his hard-fought victory, Usyk shared his plans for the next few months. "My next step is to rest," he said. "Today, my wife sent me a video of our little daughter saying, 'Daddy, Daddy, I'm going to go home, take a break, turn off my phone, close the doors, and just enjoy some peace. I won't think about boxing for now. I just want to rest and spend quality time with my children.'" Tyson Fury, looking beat up after the tough fight, also spoke about needing time off. When asked if he planned to keep fighting, the 36-year-old responded, "I'm having some time off. I might do." It was clear that Fury, just like Usyk, needed some time to recover and recharge before making any decisions about his future. Both fighters were ready to step away from the ring for now, focusing on their families and personal time. Fury, still reflecting on the fight, said, "I might not fight again, who knows? We'll talk about that next year. Thank you to my coach Yuri, my coach Kuba, and my whole team." He then turned to his promoter, Frank Warren, adding, "Listen, Frank, crazy man, but that's just my opinion, okay? No problem." Warren also took a moment to praise Fury for his performance, acknowledging how tough the fight had been. He also congratulated Usyk on his victory, saying, "Back-to-back wins against Tyson Fury, who is an incredible fighter. Fury is a fantastic boxer, but he'll be absolutely devastated tonight. That's 2 losses in a row, and it's tough to bounce back from that." The respect for both fighters was clear, as the battle between them had truly been a war. Usyk, I don't know where Tyson Fury goes from here, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.